All right, big shout out to Gina Tonic says she's gonna go get some popcorn after that break. Love it. Take some pictures, prove it. But ladies and gentlemen, we find ourselves in game number 3 of the best of 7 finals. It is tied up 1-1. In the top left corner of the map, we have our French foreign hope, the blue Protoss Lilbow.
In the bottom right, it's the red Terran Gumiho. He's up to something.
He certainly is. Seeing 2 SCVs leave the base, though, that's kind of like, what?
Oh, hey.
It's not like 2 Rising has never worked versus Protoss. It really heavily depends on getting that bunker up.
You can fit it behind there.
Yeah. Actually, I've seen, I think it was Journey. He built the barracks out here and then floated it over, which was kind of cool to see.
Yeah, it's happened versus Zerg too. But it's gonna be a 2-Rax.
Okay, so seriously, guys, the 2-Rex itself is not that scary. Zealots, Mothership Core, Stalker, they're also efficient versus Marines that come out 1 or 2 at a time. But if you can get a bunker up, that's where this falls apart very quickly. Huck, to date, is the only person I've seen defend that without taking any real guff from it, because he went for an expansion at the 3rd, and that was kind of cool to see. But that being said, I'm not sure where Lilbow is going to sit on this, because this is abnormal of abnormal. Like, when you get cheesed by a Terran player, it's not with the typical 2-Rax.
No. But what has Lilbow been scouting every game? I really can't recall.
I don't believe so. Not until the send
so. Yeah, so this is really nice from Gumiho to notice that, and the chance of scouting down there anyways is pretty low, but it's really about like that bunker. There's no probe running around the base seeing like, well, maybe there's a bunker or maybe there's barracks in my base, which is actually kind of popular on King Sejong.
Oh god. Yeah, this is where Crank did that 2-gate on the top of the ramp too. So here's the problem with this though. The first bunker's not that scary. It's the second one. He can't let a bunker get up in range of his Nexus. If it's in range of the gateways, pylons, who cares? If it's in range of the Nexus, that's almost game over before it finishes building.
Oh.
Probes being pulled. This is very similar to what we see Zerg players do with drones to react to this, but even with a full strength of the bunker, I don't think this is the way to go about it. It's only 1 Marine with a DPS at the moment, so it's not that scary, but as we see, probes are getting picked off, and he's trying to corral these back towards the middle. Only 1 Marine to get stuck over here by the looks of it. Poor Gumiho.
No, I don't think it's stuck. I think he rallied it there on purpose.
Okay.
Oh, maybe you're right. Maybe it is stuck. Whatever, it worked out.
But here's the thing, like, so many probes are being thrown away for this, but at the same time, it's almost worth these probes need to fall back now. But it's an even worker count coming out of this, so Gumiho not exactly in the best position. The Mothership Core can deal with a lot of Marines, the Zealot as well on top of it. Once you get that Stalker out, this gets really, really scary. Really, really hairy as well.
Focus on the Mothership Core will be able to get it, and that's left a little bit of derping right there at the SCD, so...
Nice micro.
That one Marine behind the mineral is actually helping, okay? It's stuck.
Yeah.
It's helping.
I mean, it's got 2 kills, so yeah, this is definitely a mistake at first, but it works out really well, the way this is playing out. The Mothership Core is a little too weak to engage again just yet, but the bunker finishing is really, I feel, not that big of a deal. If Lilbow wanted, he could just walk Zealots and Stalkers right past it, hug the top of the ramp, and then go to his opponent's base for a big counterattack.
That is possible, but I think Gumiho's really banking the fact that he's denying a Nexus as opposed to instigating an attack. Which, you know, is sometimes a response. I mean...
This is really bold to go over the command center like this.
Yeah, on the low ground.
I do kind of worry, though. This does seem to be a little bit flustered. Not at all comfortable in this scenario. I mean, he did respond really well. I'm not even criticizing that in the slightest. A couple probes died that maybe shouldn't have, whatever, big deal. But it's the fact that the Stalkers are sitting at home, not going across the map. The fact that the Mothership Core is floating over. There's a lot of, like, small things that could happen right now that could really influence everything differently, but... The fact that he's getting a sentry, I guess, might be his key to move out. You can force fill that ramp so you don't have to worry about a counterattack.
I don't know. He might be afraid of whatever, like, Gumiho's doing in response as well. Like, what if Gumiho was going into a 1 base Widow Mine drop, again, off the back of a T-Rex? Like, unlikely, right? But it could happen. Or even just like he's actually gathering Marines like he would against a Zerg player for a secondary attack. Things to be scared of. Now he's got the command center. And I guess now the 3 gateways are definitely going to be used for offense if they weren't at first.
You know, it's a small detail, but stalling out that command center is pretty cool. I like that. So Lilbow is going to focus on trying to take down the bunker. Not going to lose more than shields for it. Without a CVC here to repair. Shields will regenerate a bunker every single time.
I don't think you can get a probe out. Like, maybe like if a Stalker takes the hits first. I'm thinking about a proxy pylon.
Yeah, I guess if the Stalker took the hits, you know, you could actually hallucinate some probes. Send out 5, only one's the real one.
That's
Look at this,
awesome.
not even in range of the bunker. If he just goes north, that wasn't even in range of the bunker. He is going to try to break this now. The Sentry has got to be careful. Still get a couple of hits, but he'll break this and be able to take that Nexus in just a moment's time. Oh, Stalker's eating a little bit more damage than necessary, but they'll live.
Just barely.
So
this is gonna be.
I kind of feel like this game is really offset now. Any sort of timings are thrown out the window for either player. But with the sentries that are coming across the map, these will be really good at tearing down that bunker. There'll be no SCVs able to repair it.
It is a 3-gate. No, it's not on 2 bases, so it is a little odd. I mean, 3-gate itself, it's actually odd versus Terran nowadays, but a 3-gate can actually bust. It doesn't bust 2 bunkers, and it doesn't bust 1 bunker with SCV already pulled, but it definitely busts a bunker that, you know, they don't expect this. It goes for the back rocks, and it looks like Gumiho, well, he saw it, so now he's definitely going to be expecting it.
Waiting for that proxy robo.
Absolutely needed.
Man, that was such. Who was that he was playing against when he did that?
Solar.
Solar, right? That was, yeah, that was such a sick move. But you know, all jokes about a proxy robo side actually wouldn't be too bad because the Immortals would just tear those bunkers down. But double bunkers are being placed out, and Lilbow, he could potentially kill these, but I just feel there's not enough damage for the amount of energy from these force fields and the amount of potential deaths he'll receive to kill these bunkers.
I really don't think there is. They get like 2 bunkers pretty much just, pushes this back automatically, and especially if this SCV's pulled. So he goes away right now. For now. SCV went into Lilbow's base, like funnily enough, and actually almost survived until it died right there.
Yeah. What did he see, though?
The Robo and a Nexus. Like the gateway count was like, there could have been more behind it technically, but...
He didn't see any of the gases, though, which is kind of funny.
Yeah. Well,
nice
a lot
time
of
warp.
Marines here. I mean, Gumiho had this cool idea about catching the army off guard, but I think that backfired
You know
on
what?
him.
That does take a lot of firepower away from this, and as the bunker starts getting torn down, there's just not a lot inside of it shooting back at Lilbow. So the bunker's going to fall. The Marauder will get focused down here pretty quickly. SCV's now being pulled to the front lines, but he's got to back away from those Marines. There's not a lot of force fields left, but there's enough. And,
No proxy pylon.
If you catch him on that ramp, that would have been so devastating.
Yeah, but without a proxy pylon, you would have no, like, added pressure. It's not sustainable, and he realizes that and backs off.
Well, the sentry count is really high, which I find really weird, because you never see it like this versus Terran. A Guardian Shield or 2, you know, force field here and there, but this many sentries?
Yeah, well, with an all-in, I thought he was going to get Immortals, too, with the Robo, but only gets to Warp Prism. Yeah, with an all-in, certainly you'll see this many sentries, and that is kind of a tell for Gumiho when he sees this.
Ooh.
He's gonna be like, okay, an all-in is probably on the way. Gets a Bishop Core, that's pretty worth it, as well as 2 sentries.
At the same time, though, you gotta the value of Gumiho's numbers are significantly more than that of Lilbow. It's not hard for Lilbow to warp in 4 or 5 zealots at a time, whereas Gumiho has to constantly be producing Marines and Marauders. Then it's not the easiest thing to do when you don't exactly have 3 bases saturated of SCVs.
Yeah. I don't think he saw that War Prism either. Like, he definitely is expecting an attack, but one thing you do with the War Prism, besides being the proxy pylon, obviously, is put 1 zealot in the main, and you're already giving the Terran a bigger headache.
Is he gonna force field the ramp? I mean, he's got the sentries inside the warp.
I guess he could, yeah. Again, not something you usually see against Terran.
Camping production is gonna be difficult, though, with just warp-ins. He doesn't have 3 base economy, but he does have a ton of money banked up waiting for this. So opportunity presents itself.
Else. Check this though, so all the sentries are gonna die. Oh, good pickup.
Yeah. Stalker's warped in on top of this. You can keep that ramp force field off for quite some time, and quite frankly, this could turn into a situation where it goes the other way around. Oh, that medevac snipe with the units inside of it. Yeah, why use that one? He could use these units now in the main to go to the natural. The forces on the low ground are now so small because of that medevac picking them up, trying to transfer them to the high ground. But Gumiho, he's going to win this main fight. Lilbow could go into the natural, coming in a little bit late. He's got the same amount of force fields available down here, though, so he could keep units coming from out of the main. He could keep units from going into the main, whatever the choice may be. But he's chasing this back really hard, and the Guardian Shield goes down, and Lilbow suddenly has double the army supply of Gumiho almost. We got some SCVs getting pulled into the fight, but between the SimCity of these Raxes and the force fields that go down, this has been so good for the Zealots.
Gumiho put there no bunkers. He went for a 3rd CC. Did you really not think there was going to be an attack? I guess not.
I don't think he thought there was
going
to be I think like after he fended off the first one, he thought there wouldn't be the follow-up. But Lilbow does this in a very unique, very strange way. And through dedication and hardship, I mean, he tears down the SCV count. Even if he gets shut down out of this, there's only like 11 or 17 SCVs left in play. Oh, actually, is there enough Marines to kill a War Prism even? That's the next question. Oh, just barely! Just barely! But the damage has been done, and it's 2 base Protoss with 40 probes to what is 3 base Terran that doesn't even have a 3rd orbital.
Okay, the third orbital is missing, but you know this is actually recoverable because you also have the medevacs again. Like this is a situation we usually talk about in TVZ. Like after baneling all in, well they have medevacs, they can start bringing it back. But it's the same thing in TVP. Like this immortal popping out, not gonna be too useful without something to defend it.
Okay, so caught in the middle of the map. That is really unfortunate. The Zealots also, if they just keep going for an attack, I mean they don't even have to come home. I mean, there's no photon overcharge, don't get me wrong, but the Protoss warping potential, yeah, is way stronger than the medevacs coming in one at a time like this.
Yeah. Good thing Lilbow expected this. I mean, reinforcements should be at home.
There's no bunker. He's going to have a couple Marines on the high ground, but this is a lot of Zealots to tear through.
This is a weird little, like, you know, half armies on either half of the map. Not quite sure how this is going to work out.
But, you know, the longer this goes on, the sooner Lilbow has a photon overcharge, and the defense becomes a lot easier for him, whereas Gumiho's defense doesn't get any easier.
I really am not liking this. Like one bunker, man.
I don't think Lilbow knows that there isn't a bunker though. I think he would have charged up with the Zealots already. Does have to be a little bit careful with that one mine. Oh, he knows there's gonna be one mines too. This guy is so smart at StarCraft 2.
He's rather impressive.
Pylon on the high ground. Ooh boy, Zealot's gonna charge those front lines. A couple of stalkers getting picked up pretty quickly. Nice
Gateway units versus 1-1 stim medevacs. This actually went super poorly.
Yeah, if they had waited for the Immortals, I think this would have been a different scenario. It takes out those Marauders like nothing at all, but it's not the Marauders that are winning the fight, it's the Marines. These Widowmines are about to rearm underneath the Immortal as well. It's going to get really scary, and I think Lilbow's powers evaporated, to say the least.
Yeah. Maybe getting a little too caught up in how well that second attack did. The third one just fumbled.
Yeah, I really thought if he just played the macro game out of that, I think he would have had a nice little edge, but I can certainly understand the desire to try and finish your opponent if you think they've got no SCVs. I mean, he did kill like 30-something.
Did he ever scout the third CC, by the way? Like
I don't know, but I don't think it was an orbital even at the end of the game.
Oh, it was.
Okay.